It's coming home. It's coming. F1's coming home. What up, everybody? It's Joe here, and welcome back to my F1 2021 career mode. We are now at Silverstone, the British Grand Prix, the home race for team and drivers. If you haven't seen the last one from Austria, I urge you to go back and check that one out before coming back again to check this one out. As per usual, this is your last chance to do so before spoilers. So we are now at the home race, and Austria, well, that was chaos, wasn't it? It was just wheel-to-wheel racing with the title contenders all the way. Are we going to see more of that here? Time will only tell, but right now we're in Q1. We are trying to get out of it, pushing very hard. Although that was very wide through Maggots and Beckett's, and if you go wide there, you can lose many tenths by doing that. It's such a high-speed section that nailing it is critical in a qualifying sense. In a qualifying context, I should say. Coming into Stowe Corner then, what are we going to do here as we now approach the final chicane? Perez has done a 25.3. I doubt our lap time is going to be that quick, but we're going to cross the line to 25.9. We're currently second, but 6 tenths off the Red Bull there, and you can see there 6th and 7th for Joe H2O Racing there. That's not good enough. We need more.
Great Britain then, one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every single year of the Formula One World Championship. And the circuit extends that record further for today's Grand Prix. With good opportunities to overtake at the end of the Wellington and Hangar Straights, there's a lot of potential for close action around the 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit. With 18 corners and average lap speeds of around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the longest and quickest circuits on the calendar. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. Thanks for joining us, Ant, and tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Gasly, Sergio Perez, and Norris, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Button, and Charles Leclerc, Sainz, Giovinazzi, Esteban Ocon, and Vettel, Stroll, Joker, George Russell, and Nicholas Latifi, Joe, Markelov, Mick Schumacher, and Nikita Mazepin. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So I should point out that that was Q1, and we didn't run in Q2 due to having grid penalties, so... But that pace we had in qualifying was quite worrying, so we need to find something special in the race here. We've got 26 laps and it's lights out and away we go. That's a decent start there, but is Russell going to have a look around the outside? I don't know, but let's try and get these Astons on the inside. Nope, Vettel closing the door on us there, so we're going to have to try and stick it around the outside of him and then dive down the inside of the next corner. Again, Stroll on the outside. I'm trying not to lose my front wing, and I think I'm going just a little bit too carefully here. PTSD from Season 2 when I lost my front wing in the early stages, still ringing strong here. Right, up into P13 then. We've got ahead of Ocon. Next up is Italian Jesus, who we seem to have seen a lot of this year, despite being in a front-running car. And we're now going to try... Ooh, that was close to losing him. We're now going to go round the inside of Woodcote and set up the move for the inside of Copse. That's a brave one. Are we going to make it through? Yes, we are. He gives us the space and backs out of that one. And now we're up to Carlos Sainz. And I'm sitting pretty in P12, but I want more than that. So we're going to try and have a look to the inside. We exceed track limits a little bit. I'll accept that warning. Carlos trying to hold it out around the outside, doing a brilliant job there. But we're just going to sweep round. We have given him plenty of space. Carlos elects not to use it, and that is lap 2. We are up 5 places, so the recovery drive is on. Next up is Charles Leclerc, then it's Ricciardo, and our teammate Button only in P8. So far it's been a disappointing home race for the Joe H2O cars, but now we're trying to redeem it because we're having a look at Leclerc. We've got really, really close, but there's just no way to overtake until at least Stowe. Are we going to try and lunge one up the inside there if we can get the DRS and overtake going? Are we going to be able to get close enough to send it in the inside of Stowe? Yes, we are. We're going to go full send here. Can we complete this move? Yes, we do. P10. Daniel Ricciardo is next. And you can see there just how we lined up Leclerc. We got right into the slipstream, and now we're going to dive up the inside and complete that move, and that was very nicely done, I think, there. Right, next up is Daniel Ricciardo, and you can see Yuki Tsunoda is holding this mini train up here, so we need to get past him, and there's a yellow flag behind us, and something's cracked off behind us. I'm not quite sure what yet, but I'm sure we'll be told. Anyway, it's Ocon. Ocon is out of the session, and I'm having a look at Daniel Ricciardo into Luffield there, but he's very quickly shutting that one down. And there you can see Esteban Ocon pulling off for the day. He is done. His race is done. It's an early bar for him, but right now Ricciardo, if anything at the moment, is closer to Button than we are to him, but overtaken DRS could change that as we now get very close to Ricciardo, not close enough to have a look though, and Button getting very close to Tsunoda as well, but we're going to lunge for Ricciardo. He's going to cover, but we're going to dive down the inside, and that is the move done on Ricciardo. He did try to cover a little bit, but we were able to still maintain the inside line, and Ricciardo down to 10th, and we are now up to P9. Meanwhile, Button still stuck behind Tsunoda. I don't understand how he hasn't been able to clear that AlphaTauri yet. What do AlphaTauri have inside that car that's making it so quick? A Concorde engine? Because at the moment, it's a rocket ship. Anyway, we're now tucked up behind Tsunoda and Button. I'm trying to find ways past. I wish F1... Oh, we've gone wide there. We've gone wide there. And Daniel Ricciardo's going to get very close into Stowe. Is he going to have a look? No, he doesn't quite have the momentum. I was going to say, I wish F1 had like a team order button where you could like get your teammate out the way. Again, something to consider for the future anyway. We break late into Abbey. We're going to try and get the switch back on Button. Oh no! We have committed the cardinal sin of F1. The number 1 rule, do not hit your teammate, and that is what we've done. We have sent Jenson Button into a spin, and that is a disaster. And the safety car has now come out, and we have got front wing damage, so we are now electing to pit. It's still quite early in the race, so what I'm thinking is pit in now, get on the hard tyres, and try to get to the end on those tyres. And who knows, if the rest of the field don't pit, and I believe they haven't, we could end up being the benefactors out of that. The irony being, we've wiped out our teammate, and we could become benefactors of it later. That is a disaster, and I do apologise for that incident, but right now we've got a race to run, and we're right at the back of the field, so if we want to try and recover, we do not want to lose too much time. So I am wasting none, getting past Leclerc around the outside, and we are now up to Tsunoda, who's having a look at Mazepin. He's going to go down the inside of Mazepin, and Mazepin trying to hold it out, and Mazepin still trying to race him down the inside of Luffield, but Tsunoda should just have the momentum, and he does, because that Haas has got all the momentum of, well, like I said, I could get out and walk quicker than that. Right, down the inside of Cops of Mazepin we go. Up to P19. Mick Schumacher next. Go around the outside, And that's going to be P18, and we nearly clatter into Tsunoda doing it. Schumacher's still there, but we are able to hold him back, and that is the position. Right, next up, Yuki Tsunoda, and then it's Jenson Button again. I mean, at least Button's now got past Tsunoda, right? Just trying to make light of my collision with Button there. Anyway, we've now gone round the outside of Tsunoda, and Jenson Button is now looking at getting past Artem Markelov. And we're right behind him, and I don't dare go anywhere near him. I don't dare. I'd imagine he'll be steaming inside that helmet. It is not a good show for us that we've gone in. Well, it's not a good show for me that I've gone into my teammate in the team's home race, my home race, and Jensen's home race. It's a complete disaster. Anyway, Button's now got past Markelov. I'm going to sweep round the outside there to get past Markelov. I'm proud of that overtake. That was a beautiful move. Right, now Jenson Button is tucked up behind Guan Yu Zhou, and I can't imagine he'll be there for very long. In fact, he's not there for very long because he's just dived down the inside of the Williams. And now we're up to Nicholas Latifi because Guan Yu Zhou did immediately pit after that. Oh, no, he didn't. We got past him, but off camera. Right, round the outside of Maggots and Beckett's have we gone on Latifi, and that is a great move. Now we're back up to Jenson Button. And again, I just don't dare go anywhere near him. I can imagine this wouldn't get the best response out of the fans, but we're very close. And I wonder, is Jenson going to pit this lap? This is the lap that I expect he would, and he does. So Jenson Button into the pits. We're going to resume because we've got George Russell to battle here. And I'm going to try and get that move done as quickly as possible. Russell running P9 at the moment, so he'll be happy with his race. But unfortunately, I seek to deprive him of that place by going up the inside of Copse, and that is P9. Next up is Sebastian Vettel. We've had many a scrap with Vettel round Silverstone here, and this season is going to be no exception as we get very close into Stone. We dive down the inside. That's a very late move, but somehow we complete that move. That was a Daniel Ricciardo-esque overtake, that was. Coming from far back and managing to make that work. Right, the two Mercedes are now 1-2, and I believe they haven't pitted yet. We've only lost 12 seconds to them in fighting the field. We're in P3 and don't necessarily need to stop again. Hamilton's medium tyres will be starting to go off, and we have got the advantage here. Hamilton now pits. Bottas was leading, but has now pitted. And Verstappen is, I would assume, our nearest threat. But Hamilton has pitted, and we're going to go on to take the lead, setting the fastest lap as we do so. Scenes here at Silverstone as we're able to keep that lead. Wow. That's probably going to be my most controversial career mode win. We start the race P16. I commit the big F1 sin of colliding into my teammate through complete accident. It was a completely over-ambitious overtake, which I profusely apologise for. We pit in and make the strategy work, and we're about to take a home Formula 1 Grand Prix win. It is truly coming home at Silverstone because I have won it! Get in!
Yes, you've done it. Well done.
So after a day of mixed fortunes up and down the field, we bring today's race to a close. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
Here comes your top three making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One.
Many people would argue that that's an unfair win, but when the safety car came out, I made the best of the strategy. But I am disappointed that I went into Button and hit my teammate and committed that, like I said, the cardinal sin of F1, and I can only hold my hands up and apologise and say that was my fault. I was going for a move that just wasn't available to me. It was a space that was always going to close in on me. I just got over eager trying to get up the field, and that happened. But I definitely made the most of my strategy when the safety car came out and pitted, took the hard tyres and managed to nurse it to the end. Hamilton was really starting to close in on me by the end of the race, something like a second a lap, but he wasn't able to catch. And as you can see, the championship standings, once again, it has closed up. Verstappen had a bad race, so he's trailed off a bit. Perez is 17 points with him, so he's still not too far off with a shout, is Checo Perez, but 4 points between me and the championship leader, and that was over 50 points at one point, so I have really cut that gap down. We are still sitting in third in the Constructors, and I feel like we could have got some Constructors points, if not for me, in that controversial incident that we're about to see now. This is the talking point of the race. And you can see I was covering Ricciardo there, and you can see now we're coming into Abbey. I'm going to try and go around the outside and switch to the inside. That camera angle shows nothing. I'm trying to switch to the inside, but as you can see, I've gone into him. And this is Jenson Button's view. The space, well, from his view, there was very little space there, and that was always going to close in on me. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with the highlights of this race. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you're new here and you want to see more content from me. Until the next time, I've been Joe. Stay safe, look after yourselves. TTFN, guys. Ta for now.